Okay, let's talk about what's been happening for you and what's brought you to this video today. Let me guess, if you're anything like me, you swing between loving parenthood and shamefully and guiltily resenting it. You probably feel really exhausted with frustration at having to deal with the endless stream of challenges and demands on you as a parent, like arguing and backchat and fighting and whinging. Well, there's a reason why you're watching this particular video today, and I'm guessing it's because you're here to change, to stop that incessant guilt that keeps plaguing you because of your reactions and what you feel like you're doing to your child, and also to learn to change the way you feel about those challenges that you're facing as a parent. You've probably tried everything else, right? Or maybe you're just at a loss of what to do next. My name's Jackie Hall, and I know exactly how you feel. I've spent the last 8 years training myself in taming my own temper. And I know that sounds really strange that I've been in training for this, but trust me, patience was not my forte. And while I've been training myself, which is always an ongoing mission, mind you, I've also spent the last 5 years teaching parents how to train themselves too, which is really what the 28-day Tame Your Temper parenting challenge is all about. So you might be surprised to know that anger can also be associated with anxiety. To teach you some of the thinking behind anxiety is I must control life so it goes to plan or go my way, so there's and prevent anything from jeopardizing my goal to get life right. So anger is all about control. It's used to either control life because you've learnt that anger is an effective way to control life, or it's a reaction to not being able to control a situation. So the second thing you need to know is that all stress is not even about events. It's how we perceive that event and what we perceive it to mean about ourselves. So let's think about that for a moment. If I was to ask you what causes you to get angry, you might say something like the kids fighting, them whinging, attitude that they give you, tantrums, or maybe a whole host of reasons why you've gotten angry. However, if it was these events alone, then wouldn't that mean that everybody would get angry and feel the same level of anger when faced with that same event? But we seem to know this seemingly perfect parent that just doesn't seem bothered by those things that really rile you up. And that's not because there's some perfectly natural, angelic parent who never does anything wrong. It's just because they think differently about those events. Let me show you exactly what I mean. This is what we at the Parental Stress Centre call your evaluation process. It's how all humans think. So first we experience an event with the 5 senses. So we see it, hear it, touch it, taste it, smell it. The sensory information then gets sent into the brain for evaluation. The brain then accesses all the information it has stored in the brain to try and determine what it is that you're seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, or smelling. So the brain's trying to figure out, what is this? Have I seen it before? What reference points, opinions, past memories, or judgments do I have stored in my brain that relates to what I'm sensing? And finally, it's trying to access this information so it can determine, what does this event mean about me? Because we're always looking for whether something's going to give us pleasure or pain. And more importantly, we do this so that we can pursue more pleasure and take us away from pain. So when you're experiencing your child's behaviour or anything else in life, you're evaluating it in accordance with your beliefs about the situation and about life in general. You're also evaluating that situation with the beliefs you have about yourself and how you believe you can pursue pleasure and avoid pain. So if you believe, for example, that you should be able to get the dishes done without interruption, and yet you keep getting interrupted, then this causes a response in the body. And that's because the picture that you had in your head is different than what you're actually experiencing. And the brain has evaluated that as being bad. Now, every time you have a thought, you release a chemical in the body which we feel and we recognize as anger. Anger comes from the belief that I should be able to get life to go to my needs and I should be able to control that. Yet in this situation, it hasn't happened, and anger becomes your reaction. How you get angry is the second response that occurs in the brain by way of your reaction. This is what you do to pursue pleasure and avoid any further pain. So this is where you might lash out, shout, slam things on the bench, maybe even smack your child in your anger. So now that we understand a little bit about how the brain works behind your anger, we can also see that if you want to change how you react and how you feel, that is your anger and how you do anger, then you need to change how you're perceiving life. This is where the 28-day Tame Your Temper Parenting Challenge comes in. Over 28 days, we teach you how to start understanding the specific thinking that causes you to feel anger and how to begin upgrading or changing that thinking so that you can feel calmer and more rational. But there's one more thing that this challenge also teaches you too, which was actually my saving grace when it came to my own anger and taming my temper. What you need to know is that all stress is a conflict between belief and reality. So remember those dishes? The expectation was that you should be able to do the dishes without interruption. That was the belief. You were attached to this expectation, yet the reality was you were being interrupted. We constantly get stuck in the old picture of what we believe should be happening, but often the reality is that something else has happened. But we're still rolling in a story that's in conflict with reality. So one of the most powerful things that helped me to stop my anger was when I would say to myself, Jack, you're in conflict with reality. These simple words will pull my attention right out of that story and back in alignment with reality and what was actually happening right in front of me. Now, you might find that these words, you're in conflict with reality, are a popular catchphrase that works for you as well. And it's something that you'll hear from me and many of my clients who've trained in the Parental Stress Center programs because we use it a lot. It's one of our mantras, if you will. And in the 28-day Tame Your Temper Parenting Challenge, you're going to learn over 4 weeks to, firstly, in the first week, recognize how your thinking is in conflict with reality. Then in the second week, you're going to learn how to change your thinking to be in alignment with reality. Then once you're in alignment with reality, you're going to start to get solution focused about what's actually going on. Solution focused about the reality that you're now faced with. And then finally, in week 4, you're going to remember an easy 5-step mind-tracked happiness process that you can apply to all situations so that you can recognize your thinking behind your stress, change it, and apply those solutions at any time. So what do you think? It's a bit of a different approach, isn't it? And what you'll find at the Parental Stress Center is we don't teach another set of rules to follow that tell you how to raise your children. But we more so teach you tools to be able to change your thinking and your reactions, and also change how your child thinks and responds to life too. Because as you've seen in the evaluation process and the picture that we showed you, how you feel and how you react is really only the end result. If you want to change your anger, you have to go to the source. You have to change how you think about the situation to begin with. Then the behavior and emotions will automatically start to change. This is something to consider also in regards to your child's behavior too. Change their thinking and you'll also change their behavior. So what you need to do now is just pick a designated day to start the challenge and get started, basically. This is going to completely change your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I look forward to hearing how you've gone with the challenge. So make sure you give me your feedback and maybe I'll see you in one of our future programs. So for now, take care, good luck with the challenge, and bye for now.